Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your ultimate home for all things Liverpool FC. Today's episode is packed with drama, passion, and breaking headlines. From Chelsea targeting a red star to Arne Slot facing a major dilemma, and even Salah's struggles being called out by a club legend, we've got it all covered. Plus, we'll dive into transfer dreams featuring Florian Wirtz and Marc Guehi alternatives that could reshape our 2026 Liverpool FC. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Chelsea star admits they targeted one Liverpool player as Arne Slot warned he has clear problem. Marc Guehi set up Chelsea's winning goal against Liverpool and has revealed the Londoners deliberately looked to exploit Mohamed Salah at Stamford Bridge. Marc Guehi has revealed that Chelsea deliberately looked to exploit Mohamed Salah during Liverpool's loss to the Londoners on Saturday. The Spaniard set up the last-minute winner for Estevao as Arne Slot's side fell to a third successive defeat. The Reds were once again not at their best, with Mohamed Salah enduring a frustrating evening in front of goal. Yet they had looked to rescue a share of the spoils after Cody Gakpo cancelled out Moises Caicedo's opener, only to come unstuck following a stoppage-time winner for the second weekend running after last Saturday's loss at Crystal Palace. Salah, who boasts 3 goals and 3 assists so far this season from 10 appearances, has come under fire in some sections, prompting Slot to defend the Egyptian after the final whistle at Stamford Bridge. But Guehi has revealed that Chelsea did actually look to target the Liverpool forward and take advantage of the space he leaves defensively on the Reds' right-hand side, with their winning goal coming from the Spaniard getting in down that flank. "I think we deserve it," Guehi told Sky Sports. "We started the game very well, and then the second half we started not in the right way again. We need to improve these things. But in general, I think we deserve this win. We know that Salah is always ready for the counterattack, so we practiced that, and the manager said that the space might be there on the right side of Liverpool. We saw that it was the last minute, but we kept attacking. I tried to give my last effort, and Enzo gave me the ball, and I crossed for Estevao." While Guehi name-checked Salah, Manchester United legend Wayne Rooney pointed out how Chelsea also looked to exploit Conor Bradley on that flank before he was withdrawn at halftime. "It's a clear problem Liverpool have got in the right back area," he said on Match of the Day. "Conor Bradley has come off twice at halftime in the last 2 league games. They've tried Dominic Szoboszlai, but it hasn't really worked for him. Jeremy Frimpong was on the bench today, but didn't get on, so they've tried 3 right backs in 7 league games. Chelsea have seen that and exploited it. The Liverpool back 4 were all over the place at times. There were warning signs early on. Bradley got a yellow card, and I'm sure that was a big factor in him getting subbed off at halftime. It was a big problem for Liverpool. Today, as it has been all season, Slot would confirm that. Bradley's withdrawal at halftime for Wirtz was because of his yellow card. Most of the times I've changed the full-backs. It's mainly down to them being on a yellow," he explained. So again today, Conor Bradley was on a yellow card. Made a second foul, if you can call that a foul. Players were asking for yellow again. So then you wonder if that is then smart to keep him on the pitch. We also then needed Florian to come into the game. And by doing that, I could play Dom as right full-back. Arne Slot given major Florian Wirtz conundrum as fresh. Liverpool centre-back dilemma emerges. A look at how Liverpool could line up when they entertain Manchester United on the other side of the international break with a 2-week break now before. Manchester United are entertained at Anfield. Arne Slot has plenty of time to stew on the worst 7 days of his Liverpool career to date. Defeats at Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, and now Chelsea in the space of a week sees Slot on his worst sequence since he joined, and the opportunity to arrest the slump won't arrive until October 19th when United visit on the back of a 2-0 win at home to Sunderland. That won't mean Ruben Amorim will travel down the M62 full of optimism given United's wider struggles in recent times, but Liverpool will need to blow away the cobwebs when their most fierce of rivals pitch up in L4 later this month. The selection dilemmas don't get much easier for Slot, who is still attempting to find his best team after a big spending summer. Georgi Mamardashvili will at least start in place of the hamstrung Alisson Becker, but the issues at right and left back are becoming major problems. Now Conor Bradley started at Chelsea but was hooked at halftime on a booking with Dominik Szoboszlai, once more asked to fill in the unfamiliar position, while Jeremy Frimpong kicked his heels on the sidelines. On the left side, Andy Robertson was a general improvement on Milos Kerkez at Chelsea, but the Scotland captain was culpable for the winning goal in the 95th minute by Estevão Willian and left the field in some discomfort, limping off with the aid of the physio. Getting the balance and the personnel right in the fullbacks areas is critical going forward, but Slot is having real problems there this term. At centre-back, Ibrahima Konate suffered an issue in the game, so it will be interesting to see what part, if any, he is able to play for France during the international break. An injury to the defender will leave just Joe Gomez as the only senior centre-half capable of partnering Virgil van Dijk. That has to be a worry and shines a light on the failure to bring in Marc Guehi on transfer deadline day. In midfield, Slot went back to basics against Chelsea, picking the tried-and-trusted trio of Alexis Mac Allister, Ryan Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai, but the latter was forced into the right-back slot for the second. Half after Florian Wirtz was introduced, Mac Allister is struggling at the moment and is feeling the effects of a truncated preseason, so some minutes for Argentina may be no bad thing in the wider scheme of things. Curtis Jones is also pushing for an inclusion after his cameo at Chelsea, where he helped bring about a general improvement once he was brought on. Wirtz, in particular, feels like a growing problem that needs solving sooner rather than later. The Germany international is a gifted footballer and would have had a few assists on his record had some of his teammates had their shooting boots on at the time, but more generally, the 160-meter man has found his early weeks on Merseyside as a steep learning curve. Slot simply has to find a way to get the best out of the attacking midfielder. Does he return from the start against United at Anfield? It's a perfect time to take flight. Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, Hugo Ekitike, and Alexander Isak is a fearsome quartet on paper, but one will have to drop out, and that feels like a decision Slot can make nearer the time, particularly with a 125-meter Isak having the benefit of another 2 weeks of football under his belt. Liverpool legend calls club a shambles and claims Mohamed Salah is suffering. Liverpool were beaten 2-1 by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, as the Reds slumped to a third successive defeat in all competitions, and they could have ended the game with 10 men after Cody Gakpo. Liverpool legend Steve Nicol has criticized his former club, labeling them as desperate due to some of Arne Slot's decisions during the Reds' loss to Chelsea. The London side clinched victory with a 95th-minute goal from Estevão, marking Liverpool's third consecutive defeat in all competitions. Earlier on Saturday, Arsenal had triumphed over West Ham United, and Liverpool's subsequent loss meant they relinquished their top spot in the Premier League table to the Gunners. Initially, it seemed like Liverpool might salvage a draw against Chelsea, especially after Cody Gakpo equalized following Moises Caicedo's opening goal. Slot fully utilized his 5 substitution allowance during the match against Chelsea, making offensive changes such as bringing on Florian Wirtz for Connor Bradley at halftime and introducing Curtis Jones and Andy Robertson to replace the injured Ibrahima Konate and Milos Kerkez in the 55th minute. In the 74th minute, Hugo Ekitike came on for Alexander Isak, but Slot's final substitution raised some eyebrows when he brought on Wataru Endo for Alexis Mac Allister in the 86th minute. This decision ultimately proved costly, with Estevão scoring the winning goal 10 minutes later, while Liverpool left forward Federico Chiesa unused on the bench. As a result of the numerous substitutions throughout the match, Liverpool ended up with both Dominik Szoboszlai and Ryan Gravenberch playing in defense in the second half. Nicol delivered his assessment of such alterations, branding his former club's approach shambolic and accusing them of resorting to desperation football, whilst also targeting Mohamed Salah for particular critique. The goal comes because Robertson had just done 100 yards, he said on ESPN. Robertson had just run from his penalty box and come back. He had his hands on his knees because he was gasping for air. That's why they get the goal. You could have stuck anybody in a blue jersey on at the end of that game going forward. Liverpool were an absolute shambles by the end. Endo, in my opinion, wasn't brought on to take the point. Mac Allister was knackered, that's why Endo came on. This wasn't some sort of tactical move because from the minute Endo came on to the last whistle, Liverpool were charging forward like it was a cavalry challenge. They're just playing desperation football. They're desperate. How can you turn an XI into what Liverpool finished with? 2 of your 3 midfielders are playing in the back line. You've taken your left back off. You're stuck in a left back on who's never going to be able to stick with Estevao or anybody else or Nito or anybody. I mean, it's just this by the end of the game. It's a shambles. You turn your midfield into your defense. You turn your defense into people going forward. Your front 3, including Mo Salah, who right now couldn't hit a barn door if he was standing in front of it. Mo Salah is suffering more than anybody because of the fact that Liverpool cannot keep the ball. Mo Salah is not your normal football player. This is a player who stands on it, gives it away, but he scores goals. And he's always been the same. Right now, there's one piece of those 3 missing, and that's the goals. The biggest problem is Liverpool cannot play 3 passes among themselves together. There are so many things going wrong, and it comes down to basics. Liverpool signed Marc Guehi, alternative and $78 million winger in Dream 2026 X. Should rumors come true, despite spending a record-breaking amount of money over the summer, Liverpool are still thinking about their next transfer targets. Things have taken a dip at Anfield following their back-to-back defeats against Crystal Palace and Galatasaray. Many expected the Reds to wipe the floor with any opposition who came their way, but both attacking and defensive frailties have emerged in recent weeks. While Arne Slot's side secured British record signing Alexander Isak, they missed out on Marc Guehi, who also looked set for a deadline day move. However, after a Crystal Palace change of heart, it seems as though the player himself has taken a U-turn. Reports of Guehi preferring a move to Real Madrid have emerged, meaning Liverpool may need to go back to the drawing board and consider a new center-back either in January or the summer. Taking into account recent transfer rumors, we've put together an ideal predicted starting Liverpool lineup. Should these links come to fruition, Liverpool sign Marc Guehi, alternative goalkeeper, Alisson defenders, Jeremy Frimpong, Dayot Upamecano, Virgil van Dijk, Milos Kerkez with Tottenham Hotspur, now also in the picture for Guehi. What looked to be a certain deal is now slipping away from Liverpool. They may need to move on from the Palace skipper and focus on another target. Dayot Upamecano has emerged on their shortlist, which could see them get a small slice of revenge on Real Madrid, who are also after the Bayern Munich star, the France. International's contract expires next summer, and former Manchester United scout Mick Brown believes the Reds will back themselves to see off the competition for his signature. With doubt over Ibrahima Konate's future and some errors displaying themselves recently, Liverpool will benefit from some new blood across the back to support Virgil van Dijk. The skipper, who is under contract until 2027, is expected to keep his spot, while new summer signings Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez continue to settle into their roles. As for Liverpool's goalkeeper, Georgi Mamardashvili will likely be given more time on the pitch to prepare to succeed Alisson, but for the time being, the Brazilian remains the first choice. 78 million winger joins the Liverpool ranks goalkeeper. Alisson defenders, Jeremy Frimpong, Dayot Upamecano, Virgil van Dijk, Milos Kerkez with Tottenham Hotspur, now also in the picture for Guehi. What looked to be a certain deal is now slipping away from Liverpool. They may need to move on from the Palace skipper and focus on another target. Dayot Upamecano has emerged on their shortlist, which could see them get a small slice of revenge on Real Madrid, who are also after the Bayern Munich star. Liverpool star sends trust the process message after undeserved. Chelsea win. Liverpool were beaten 2-1 by Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Saturday, with the Reds now on a 3-match losing run across the Champions League, and Premier League Georgi Mamardashvili delivered a resolute message following Liverpool's 3rd straight loss. The Reds succumbed to a 2-1 defeat at the hands of Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which saw them slip below Arsenal in the Premier League standings. Arne Slot's team has faced a trio of defeats following their latest setback against the Blues, having previously fallen to Crystal Palace and Galatasaray within the past week. With the October international break upon them, Liverpool are due to use this time for recuperation before they tackle Manchester United in their next league fixture later in the month. Mamardashvili had his first taste of Premier League action as he was in goal at Stamford Bridge. The Georgian keeper, who joined from Valencia during the summer transfer window, was selected by Slot to start due to Alisson Becker's absence through injury. Following the match, Mamardashvili seized the moment to communicate with the Liverpool supporters. The result wasn't what we deserved. But every experience makes us stronger, Mamardashvili posted on Instagram to his 730,000 followers. Today I made my Premier League debut, living a childhood dream. The first of many. Just trust the process. With Alisson expected to remain out of action post-international break due to a hamstring injury sustained in the Champions League loss to Galatasaray, Mamardashvili is likely to keep his spot in goal. The club has not yet provided a definitive timeline for Alisson's recovery. Slot said of the result afterwards, "Another disappointing loss." That's clear, another game similar to the Crystal Palace game. Although the game was completely different because the playing style of both teams are completely different, but not similar to the Palace game. In the first half, I think we played not our best football, but still were able to create 3 big chances. They've only had 1, and they've immediately scored it, which was completely different to the Palace game, where Palace created a lot of chances in the first half. And the second half performance, like in Palace, I liked. We've created more than enough chances to score more than 1 goal. Last week and today. I think there was a period of the game where I felt, now we're going to win it. We came very close a lot of times with chances, but also with moments where we had 4 versus 3 in our favor, not outplaying it well enough in the last pass. And in the last 10 minutes, it was an end-to-end game. Both teams could have won it. We didn't, and Chelsea did.